So thanks for joining me for this audio commentary. Dexter Original Sin, episode 9. Yes, episode 9. This is actually the last recording that I'm doing for the season. I already did episode 10, I believe a few nights after the finale. So yeah, I'm actually doing episode 9 before or after I did 10. Yeah, anyway, so I did make a small mistake when talking about episode 10, so I thought I'd just take this previously on opportunity to explain or say. But the mistake that I was trying to explain, I was talking about what Spencer, you know what, I'll wait until after the opening credits or during the credits. But this feels so weird actually going back and watching this. Oh man, episode 9, I will say this about episode 9: it was one of the craziest episodes. I thought 7 was crazy, and then 8 hit, and I was like, "Whoa, they can't get any crazier." And then 9 hit, and I was just like, "Wow!" I like, I was just amazed at what they did, what the writers did in episode 9. Like, they really got the formula good in this show. So, are they going to make a second season? I'm pretty sure they are, simply because the talents that they got, the actors that they got, just the talent and the similarities of how these characters look compared to the OG series Dexter characters. Just the body movements, the body language. Sorry, just all of that. Um, it's just too perfect. It's just too perfect of an opportunity, not to take advantage of, not to really, see what they can do with this, see how far they can go. Um, like I said, watching this show really restored my faith in TV shows, honestly. I miss the whole once a week episode release, like I miss that. I really, really do miss that tradition. Like I think traditions are important, and I think it's important to keep that alive. That once a week, it really gives you a chance to grow with the characters, to grow with the story, to grow with the episodes and what each episode represents and means. You're watching it and you're hooked into it, and then it leaves you wanting more. Like I think it's important to have the once a week release versus here's an entire season, and then people don't talk about all the in betweens and what happened during the episodes. They just talk about oh yeah, it was cool, it was all right. I was like, well, what about the episodes individually? So I appreciate that. All right. Tranquil Blood Drive. Oh, Blood Drive. Yes, this episode. Oh, here we are at bingo. Um, so the mistake that I did make was that Spencer's character represented blood family versus spiritual family. Um, so yeah, that's like a big theme, especially during the second half of the season. And this poor lady right here, this woman with the mark on her face. Um, the character right here, who plays our boy Brian, our boy, he did it. I saw an interview with him. It was like a 20-minute interview or something about him talking about the character, and I was going to watch the entire interview and talk about what he said in the interview and really what just what he went through, just how he got the character and all that stuff. I was going to watch the entire thing, and then when I did this commentary, talk about it, as a note to him, just to kind of talk about him. And I ended up not being able to finish the interview, so I do feel bad about that. But but yeah, I wish I could talk more about him right now. Christian Slater. Oh, so now they're at the hospital. I love how everyone's just frantic and everywhere, and then the doctors are just chilling. They're just relaxing. This is a little hard for me to commentate right now because I just watched this movie called Boys in the Hood, and, I just watched Terminator 2. But then I watched the audio commentaries with the directors. So, like, trying to watch movies or shows now with it's hard because when I'm looking at the different directing styles and the actors in the background with what the extras are doing in the background and everything, it's like my brain is a little messed up right now because of overexposure to just the creation of movies and the directing of shows and scenes. So yeah, forgive me if I'm a little odd right now. I love how in this scene LaGuerta is locking eye contact with um Christian Slater right now with our boy Harry. She's like making sure he's telling the truth, and I really love that she's really interrogating him. Like, there's something fishy's going on. I need you to tell me the truth. I need to get to the bottom of this. And she's not treating him like a friend or anything. She's just locked eyes on him. Like, the case. This is a cool office. Okay, so wait, what is Okay, so Harry just admitted that he had an affair with Laura. I know I messed up. Man, this is weird. Just jumping straight into an episode, a random episode of a TV show after yeah, it's just yeah, no momentum. Oh man, he lost his shield again. That's like a character theme for Harry. Go get it back. Go get it back, Harry. Alright, so now here we are at. How did he get up there? I just saw a cop on like the third stacked shipping container. Wonder how he got up. Well, I guess they would have to use a forklift or something, but yeah. So yeah, they had the canine. So I'm thinking, yeah, maybe the canine would smell the blood, or maybe he would smell their scent or something. Yeah, it's a big, man, that's crazy. I wonder where would that shipping container would have been sent off to? Like, I actually wonder that. I think in the original series, Dexter found the exact shipping container with the exact number on it, and I believe it was hauling off bananas. So it's just funny. But I actually wonder where the shipping container would have actually ended up, where it would have been sent to. It would have been interesting if the shipping container was actually sent off to like another character or villain or something, and he was like, "Here's all the people who betrayed you, and here's all their bodies and stuff." And I wonder if that would have been a thing. And then maybe it could have been into a whole like whole sex traffic thing with no, because they wouldn't have left him in there. I don't know because I could see potentially at the end of they were talking about creating a spin-off with Brian's character. um Potentially they want to leave it open in case for a potential, but I think that would have been an interesting storyline for Brian's character, and I think that would have maybe fit his motive or something. Like, I don't know, maybe they were left in a shipping container because they were left for like child trafficking or something like that, and they were saved before they could get to Brian and Dexter, or something along the lines of that. And I don't know, maybe Brian found out who these guys were and did his thing with them. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like there's something there, but I can't really speak to make it make sense. If that makes sense, as a creative myself, it's hard to explain stuff like that. You know, this you can feel an idea forming, but I don't know. I don't know why that thought just came to mind. Just yeah, Sunny Smiles. I actually looked into those Sunny Smiles and I couldn't find them. That would be fun. I wonder if like Lunchables blew up though in sales after this after this show. People were like, "Sunny Smiles." That reminds me of Lunchables. Man, Lunchables were bomb back in the day. I used to love Lunchables. That was actually my weakness. Lunchables and Twinkies. Yeah. Then once eggnog hit, it was over. We all smile while still being the villain. Yeah, right here. I remember this scene. I was shocked. I was like, "Oh, Dexter's just gonna grab him right here, huh?" And he got his needle out, and then Harry comes in. So Harry comes in with Spencer, and it's like at this point in this scene, it's like, well, Dexter can't just grab him. At this point, Dexter just get out, and then get out quietly, of course. Of course, here's that dark Dexter humor. You got a bottle of liquor. Now, if I were actually in the situation, he saw the bottle, he was like, "Oh snap." Sometimes the riskiest move is the better move at times. Instead of him going to the closet and hiding, he probably would have gotten caught just now. But he went straight for the door and just got out, and then closed the door silently, and yeah, hopped off the rail. Probably the smarter decision. I don't know if that were me. I don't know. I probably would have like closed the door and just stayed on the balcony. I would have been like, oh, I gotta hope for the best. But then eventually, I would have been like, should I jump down? But at that point, I would have been caught. So it's like, oof. Oh, Camilla's boat. You know, oh, now they're talking about Camilla's boat. I I really do like that they left some things open, like with Camilla with the boat. I don't know if Dexter's going to change the name of that boat or just get his own. Or I'm pretty sure Camilla and Eugene or Gene are gonna find out what Dexter's doing. They're just like, hey, you love that boat so much. Why don't you just keep it? Oh, and here's Deb. Oh, I love this Deb. One thing I find interesting, I don't know if this. Oh, yeah, just I'm glad you're safe. Sometimes that's the best thing you can do is when your child messes up, just look at them and know if they've messed up or not. And sorry, I was trying to read the subtitles. They're going so fast. But sometimes when your child does something, you just, hey, you're okay. I'm glad you're okay. And just be there for them. Because a lot of times when kids do stupid things and they get in trouble, they learn their lesson. And sometimes punishing them further is just unnecessary. Just show them that you love them sometimes. Show them that you're there to support them. Seeing all these old police cars, I guess this was the 70s. This is hard or weird because I just watched two movies that took place in the 90s. So looking at these old stuff is like, man, it's like like the past is just ugh, oof, oof. That's a lot of blood. Oh, and then Harry takes Dexter and doesn't take Brian. Oh, poor kid. Man, that facial expression on Laura's face was really disturbing. Like I said, it tells a story. There's a gravity to it. Um, yeah, I forgot what I was saying before. You didn't do anything wrong. Yeah, man. Well, where I understand that traditions are important, I know it can sometimes mess a person up when it comes to, traditions being broken versus um, untraditional things sometimes being just as fulfilling or if not more fulfilling. I can understand that. Okay, I know what I was saying. This Deb, I would definitely date this Deb. But for the wardrobe, I wonder if this is actually done on purpose. If you look carefully at Deb's pants, I wish I remembered the exact name of those, but her pants are actually the same design as Brian's shirt is when he's at the bingo game. They're actually the same design with the blue and the white stripes. And I'm wondering if that was actually done on purpose, which I'm sure it was. Hmm. And, well, Dexter has a boss. I miss these days too when people used to smoke indoors. Um, I love Camilla's personality here. I love her. I love how she just derails. Like she's about that life. You could tell she's about that life. The way she talked to LaGuerta, the way she took her cigarette out, the way she, was so strong in character. And, excuse me, who are you again? Like, just the way she smiled, the way she talked. Like, Camilla knows how to play a good game. Laura Moser, Brian Moser. It's I love how she does that thing with her finger. When LaGuerta finds something interesting, she points her index finger at something, and then she moves it over. She lifts it and moves it over, and then points at the next thing. And she like repetitively do that. And I love how they got that small detail correct in this show. And yeah, I'm curious about yeah, this was another plot. So yeah, when you have Camilla and Harry, this is confirmation that Camilla does know about Dexter's past and everything like that. But yeah, yeah, I like how yeah, I wonder how much LaGuerta actually did know, and it makes you more curious for you to um uh, with that person with that storyline with LaGuerta looking into the name Moser and everything. That does spark some curiosity of How much did LaGuerta know? Since the first season, how much did she actually know about Brian and all that and Harry's connection? This is the first time Doris is learning that these two boys that Harry's trying to adopt were the sons of the woman he had an affair with. And there's the woman that was at the bingo with her scar on her face. I really like I honestly think that I don't this so another open plot that they never explained is the possibility that Deb might not actually be Harry's child. That's one thing, but another thing would be well, yeah, I think I already explained that. Yeah, how much did LaGuerta actually know? So that would make people more curious to watch the first season. Be like, huh, I wonder. There's little traumatized Dexter. Not sure what to do. Just being Dexter, being him. Um, I love how dark Deb is. This scene right here, man, this scene right here, it actually choked me up at first. I believe this is Quinn's desk. Um, and right here, this scene right here, man, this scene. There's LaGuerta and Deb, and this is the first time that they've met. First time that they've met each other, and it's crazy because when was that exact moment that you looked into the eyes of the person who took your life? When was that moment when you first came across that individual who actually killed you? You know what I mean? And it's weird because it's a question that you can't really answer until like the end of it. You know what I mean? And like the fact that these two characters, how they met each other, and they're just like, hi, hey, whatever. Oh, you're so and so's kid. And it's like, it's crazy that as an audience, you know that these characters are going to be put in a situation to where one ends up killing the other. And it's like, whoa, this is where it started. And then this is where it ended. You know where it ended. And it's like, I'm sorry if that is a spoiler, but man, like that scene really got me really, really deep. What just watching those two talk to each other, conversate. But something that strangely bothered me. Oh, and this is a very important conversation too. I love Sarah Michelle Gellar's character. Her character really brings something to like opportunity or possibility. I think that's what Sarah Michelle Gellar's character represents is opportunity and possibility for something new. Um yeah, well, so one thing that always bothered me was in season 7 of Dexter, or season 8, season 7 of Dexter. Dexter was talking to or LaGuardia Maria was talking to somebody. She was like, "Wait a minute. So and so that was Dexter's brother?" The way she delivered that line, wait a minute, that was Dexter's brother. The way that she delivered that line in season 7 of Dexter really said it revealed that Maria had some kind of connection with Dexter's past and knowing his past. It showed that she really did have some kind of connection. or she knew something. So, um, I always wondered how much did she actually know, and I thought I would never get the answer. I thought I would never get a possible answer to that. Uh, s- sorry, you might hear a loud bang right now. Okay, give me. Okay, I think I'm synced back again. Sorry, in the middle of my recording, it was interrupted and had to come. Anyway, okay, so this whole scene got messed up. So I thought this was an interesting scene. I bet Dexter felt, happy about doing this to to this dude. And just like Dexter having to, talk with this monster. It's interesting, watching the scene and seeing, it's interesting seeing this, watching this scene and seeing Dexter, be the human and talking with a monster. It's interesting seeing the opposite, where most of the time it's just regular people, and they're talking to the monster, which is Dexter. So it's nice seeing the opposite. I think that sand was a type of magnetic sand. Yeah, I believe it was a type of magnetic sand. I remember playing around with that stuff. I think this is the same stuff, and it was for whenever there were fingerprints or oils or certain things like that, you would like put the sand all over the spot, and then the magnet wouldn't be able to stick to like the grease or whatever from the DNA from the fingernails, the oils and stuff. So then the shape would come out. Something like that. I could be completely wrong, thinking of the wrong thing, but so this scene right here, the doctor is talking with Dexter. I can't remember his name. He's talking with Dexter, and he asked Dexter to help him out. Um, yeah. So he says, yeah, his partner tested positive for HIV, and he wants to give blood. He wants to do the best he can. He wants to help out, but he can't because he doesn't know if he doesn't have a disease or not. Yeah, I love this. I love the relationship between him and Dexter. Took a cookie. Hey, man. Somebody still hasn't given blood. I was gonna say Dexter should show him the. Oh no, he can't show him the wound because he would be like, okay, well you have your wound, but where's your blood pack? Why is it not logged in? So that's why he said left arm because his original needle went into his right arm. He didn't want Masuka to see the needle where it was poked in. So that's why he said, use the other arm. Okay, that makes sense now. Yeah. Masuka's a little perceptive, He'd notice. Stressed out Harry. Yeah, this scene right here, actually seeing Brian as a character. Oh, I love Brian. Brian holds a place deep in our hearts as viewers, as fans. just what Brian meant to us as viewers is it's just wow, just the way he hit. He hit different, you know. And there's Brian being a menace. This could possibly come from this idea of helplessness. Sometimes when there's someone who's been in a helpless position or situation that traumatizes them, it can actually manifest in things like this and what Brian just did to little baby Deb. Um, you know, when one has been hurt and been, in a vulnerable position, then they see another person or, someone who was innocent or, another child or someone who can't defend themselves or can't protect themselves. Then what this person will do is they'll actually do violent things toward that other person or try to destroy their innocence when really it's just them seeing a wound, something that's wounded within them. They see it externally through someone else who is vulnerable or weak, and what they'll do is they'll purposefully attack and hurt that person that they see as weak because deep down inside they feel weak themselves. um so you can see that in Brian's behavior right now, seeing that Deb is just, she can't take care of herself, and Brian sees that as, and yeah. I love how Christian Slater turned his head so the camera can see his can see the blood on the side of his head. Did you get the shot? Did you get the shot? I actually did a little. Wait, was that a weird? That was a weird camera cut, huh? Anyway, um, I actually did some camera work recently, and for a YouTube video, and just being on the back end of the camera, and move like this, do this for lighting, things like that. We were doing a little bit of that, so I just noticed that now. There was those needle marks that, like, Christian Slater's character doesn't think twice about, the needle marks in the character's arm. Oh right, this is episode 9 out of 10. I'm just like, wait a minute, what's going on? What is he looking for? I forgot I did episode 10 before I did episode 9. So yeah, this is Harry beginning to figure things out, figure out our boy. Look at that, just handsome. Look at that smile. Yeah, that ice check killer smile. Yeah, let's celebrate. Applebee's on me. Oh, he's so nice. Just like, it's crazy. Brian represents the handsome, evil handsome devil. He was probably so happy to get that Applebee's, and then Brian was all like, "Just kidding, little cliche van." Life is full of wants and desires. Dang, Brian? Boom, just like that. She came back. Brian Moser? Oh, come on, you can't be punching that old lady out like that, Brian. No, here's Deb. Oh no, they've been made aware of her incident that she punched the volleyball uh co-volleyball co-volleyballer puncher, but they're like, we're still interested in you. Of course, back then you didn't want to risk white young people falling down the wrong path, making life harder for them. Back then, it was very important that, white children had a chance to get ahead. So, a little altercation or whatever, you don't want to, risk hurting her future or her falling down the wrong path because of like something silly like a fight. So they're like, yeah, we're still interested. But, that is just a point of view. It's not, could always not be the writer's intent, but it's just a view. Whatchamacallit. And yeah, here's Dexter. He just, yeah, he gave too much blood, so now he's about to pass out. And yeah, eating sugar. That's happened to me actually. I had surgery. It's a minor surgery, but still kind of irritating me to this day though. But I had a minor surgery in August of 2000, September 2024. But while I was there, I didn't eat for like 2 days, and I was lightheaded. I was like, "Whoa, what's going on?" And they're like, "When did you eat?" I was like 2 days ago. So they were like, "Oh, you need sugar to help you out." So they gave me some cake with a lot of frosting, and I got my blood sugar back up. I always love these scenes with I love the scene with Harry and Bobby simply because it reminds me so much of the revelation that Dexter had with Brother Sam in season 6 of Dexter. And I really, really hope that they bring that back, that they bring Brother Sam back. And I hope that they just give that plot line an important meaning, because this whole idea of Dexter maybe being an angel of death or whatever, like I think they could go so far with that. But not only that, I think that there's still a little something there, a little something, a little bit of a little bit of flavoring left in that story arc, and I think that they need to really bring that back, really bring Brother Sam meeting Harrison for the first, when he's grown up, and I could see Brother Sam talking to little Harrison. Be like, hey, little man, you grew up and you like this, you like that. And maybe, Harrison's like, I'm trying to find a different path. I don't want to go down this path. I want something different. And I would love to see Brother Sam come back and be like, let me help you. I was there with your father and I understood him. Uh, I understood the struggles that your father went through. That darkness, it just overtook you. It just, but I could see good in the man. I could see good in your father, and he always meant well. And I did what God told me to do, and then I fit the role in his life that I needed to be in. And then Harrison could say something like, "Oh, something." I don't know. I don't know, but you know what I mean. So I think that there is a crossroad that needs to be recrossed and re-explored, I should say, with brothers Sam and Harrison and Dexter, and Dexter finding more of a sense of a good moral code, but also sharing it with this idea of God, or this, there's a higher power, higher forces that are beyond us. And, what does that actually mean in the grand scheme of things? I don't think season six did it right. If they did do it right, then I think that they should expand on it more, because season six started off good, but then the second half focused on the bad or the dark of the religious spiritual side. So I think that instead of starting at the good note and then ending at the bad note, maybe they need to kind of bring a balance to it. But anyway, I'm talking too much about that. But that would be so funny if, heck, I might even write this for my story, which Dexter wrote the note. He was like, for Nikki's dad, $5,000 at this spot. And that'd be funny if Spencer was like, oh man, so and so ratted me out, and he actually went to another person's house and was like, "You're the only person who knew. You're the only other loose end. I should have killed you." But you know, yeah, here's Dexter. Ooh, this struggle right here. And Dexter's pretty strong, but man, that needle through the hand. That was some good stuff right there. That is some excellent stuff right there. Nope. Now here's Dexter passing out. I honestly thought that Spencer, when it went through his hand and it like got to his neck, I was thinking, oh man, he didn't quite get his neck. He was a little bit too far. So because he was too far, you know, um, he didn't actually hit his neck, and then he tricked Dexter, then runs out the door. I love the symbolism between the pictures, because you can see there's Nikki's picture, and then you can see a gap, and then you can see the next picture, which is Nikki and his dad. And I like how Spencer's reflection is in between those pictures, because that shows that the monster that is Spencer is the thing that has that has wedged the sanctity of father and son that he shared with Nikki, and who Nikki was, like who Nikki is. Like I like how who Nikki is, and then it's being separated by the good memory. You know what I'm trying to say. Just I love that symbolism there of innocence, and then father son bonding, both being separated by this monster. And now here's Dexter letting out all the. This scene right here felt a little bit too open, too, like, I don't know if what the music, Patrick Dempsey's acting. This scene was actually like really really good. It was amazing, and just what Patrick Dempsey, what Patty let out in this scene through his acting, the laugh, the movements, the way he talked, the just everything. It was like wow, like where did he get this from? I don't know where he reached. I don't know where he how I don't know how he found this version of Dexter, of this character, but like it just felt like he wasn't even acting at this point. It just felt so guess authentic, just so unwatered down. She betrayed me. Becca betrayed my family and turned Nikki against me. You did all this because of your ex-wife. Well, a sobering realization. The world became an even darker. Yeah, this whole idea of yeah, I was actually seeing what evil is, and this whole idea that you can't always make sense of evil. Evil isn't always it's not always logical. And heck, that's why boop boop, there goes a finger. But that's why it is. That's why it is what it is. And I love this because this scene, the way Dexter stabs next to his face, it really does show that I love how Dexter's getting into his head right now, just pretending not to notice that pretending not to notice that he cut the plastic for Spencer to get out. And then Spencer's like, I'm gonna wait until he disappears, and I'm gonna sneak out. At least that's how I take this scene. Um, I felt like I was saying something very important. Yeah, I was saying something about evil is not always logical, and that's how they get away. That's how people get away with it. Is it's just a whole new monster. It's a whole new thing. hmm I wish I remember exactly what I was saying in this scene right here. Man, just like in the middle of this park. Shit, I did right. That was best. And bro, when he grabs that chainsaw, and when this woman is like trying to scream and she can't, I'm like, man, that just hit on a whole new level of being so scared that you can't even yell. Just to feel that feeling in your gut, your stomach, your abdomen, your stomach, your chest, and just feel it suck. And it's like, no. And here's Brian. And yeah, a deeper message of this episode, which is separation. And yeah, there he is. Uses his chainsaw. Like, man. And there's Spencer driving off. Oh, yes. Okay, thank you. So glad I remember now. Yeah, when Dexter said he got like serial killer blue balls when he stabbed the table, I love about the scene about end credits. This is the last I get to record. I love that because it really does show Dexter's character that Dexter's motivation for saving innocence or children or doing the right thing really does overpower his sense of overindulgence. And it's important that Dexter remembers this about himself and about his past. Because moving forward into Dexter Resurrection, Dexter realizes that, he wasn't a slave to his desires or his darkness. There was good inside of him and good that he was capable of doing. Clyde Phillips Production. Thank you for listening to these commentaries, and you have a great night. Looking forward to Dexter Resurrection.